Please welcome the editor-in-chief of the Journal of Neurosurgery, Dr. James Rutka.
Well, good morning, and Jacques, congratulations on your presidency and your meeting. And thanks for giving me this opportunity to say a few words about the Journal of Neurosurgery. When I became editor-in-chief a dozen years ago, the very first thing I did was I ran a strategic plan for the journal. And since then, we've had two more plans that you can see there. And so we're current, up to date as of 2025. I'll just remind you that the Journal of Neurosurgery is the longest continuously operating neurosurgical journal since 1944. Also, when I became editor-in-chief, we did a redesign for the journal, but I think you can see it's still the white journal. You can see my penchant for artwork. So if you submitted artwork to the journal, there's a very good chance you would have your paper on the cover of the Journal of Neurosurgery. I'm just going to leave this on the screen for a second because I know it's dizzying and a little bit unsettling, but that's what it's like to be editor-in-chief at times with all these manuscripts coming through, 5,000 manuscripts a year. It's a real tour de force. A lot of work is involved in the editorship, but I had a lot of help along the way. So with profound thanks to Ed Oldfield, fellow Canadian Doug Konziolka before he left to lead the Red Journal, and now more recently with Fred Barker, and Journal Neurosurgery Case Lessons, Carl Heilman, Neurosurgical Focus, which has been a huge success for the Journal of Neurosurgery, Bill Caldwell, another fellow Canadian, Aaron Cohen-Goodall, Jason Sheehan. This is an online-only, free, open, topic-based journal, highly successful for the Journal of Neurosurgery. We started a new area for the journal. It's called Broca's Area, and we've published some timely opinion pieces in this, such as Women in Neurosurgery, Registry Science, and also complex approaches to neurosurgical vascular lesions. We delved into the social media field, and in the past 10 years, led by Dr. Faith Robertson, I think we've led the way in terms of neurosurgical associations with social media. We have almost 50,000 followers across various platforms along the social media, and big thanks to Faith Robertson for that. As with the JNS, the journal had a very strong emphasis on global neurosurgery. I personally think it is our social responsibility. On the left-hand side, you can see me operating in Ukraine, where I have gone the last more than a dozen years as a neurosurgeon to assist. Bottom right corner, you can see the March 2025 issue of Neurosurgical Focus dedicated to global neurosurgery. Please take a look at this screen. How lucky was I over these last 12 years to have this cohort of editorial board members. These are leaders in the field. Many of them have trajectories that are uprising. I felt so honored and privileged to work with all of them. Over 160 members of the editorial board I had this distinguished pleasure of working with all these years, who led the way across all the journals, and I look forward to their many contributions in neurosurgery in the years ahead. We faced a rather dark time with the COVID-19 pandemic. We wrote editorials on this. We were swarmed by manuscripts during the pandemic. Why? Because neurosurgeons were essentially at home, unable to do their duties at the hospital, and they were writing all their manuscripts, submitting them to the journal. But it felt like this. So take a look at this. It's Doug Konziolka and I at times had more than 50 manuscripts on a given day in our inboxes, day after day, week after week, month after month, and it went on. But this is what it's like trying to get over the goal line every day with the journal during the pandemic. We started a new journal called JNS Case Lessons, open access, online only, rapid publishing, as you can see here. This is a great vehicle for residents and fellows, so I would strongly encourage those in the room to submit their work to JNS Case Lessons. This is one of mine, a rather unusual penetrating injury from a needlefish, a 14-year-old girl who happened to have an injury when she stepped into the water on the beach in the Caribbean, and needlefish went through her orbit that you can see here. Lesson learned here was if you're going swimming in the Caribbean where there are needlefish, put your goggles on. We had Margie Shreve, who was the voice of the journal for over 35 years. And it was a real pleasure for me to learn the ins and outs of the journal from Margie when I first started as editor-in-chief. She wrote her editorial. It was more than manuscripts, and Bill Caldwell and I, in turn, responded with our notes about Margie and all that she contributed to the journal. More recently, Samantha Guj has taken over from Margie, and she's been outstanding as leading all the editorial board members, helping us in the peer review process, so big thanks to Samantha. We've heard a lot about AI at this meeting, and of course, it's infiltrating the scholarly publishing world, and we've published a number of articles already within the journal spaces, but you can have now text-to-text, text-to-figure, and text-to-video transformations with all the programs that are available, and we're heavily embedded in this space, and you wait to see what's coming in the future for all of us. As I'm wrapping up this position as editor-in-chief, I just wanted to show the highlights while I was editor in terms of the highest impact factors for the journals over the years. I'm very proud of the impact that the journal has had across all of these metrics, including the citations over a number of years. You may not know, but the journal has also been contributing back to the JNS in terms of financial returns to support all of the JNS educational programs. And in this snapshot of just over 10 years, the journal has provided more than $13 million of funding for these programs. Well, it gives me great pleasure to pass the baton now to Dr. Fred Barker. I must say it's been a very clean baton pass. Fred's been awesome to work with from Mass General and the Brigham. I look forward to the many innovations that Fred will be bringing forward to the future with the Journal of Neurosurgery. I feel honored to join this pantheon of former editors-in-chief of the Journal of Neurosurgery, as you can see here. And Fred, it won't be long. You'll be sculpted into this pantheon in due course, and certainly, as I mentioned, look forward to all that you will deliver to the Journal of Neurosurgery with the former editors-in-chief. What will I miss the most, in addition to the editorial board members? Working with this team, we heard yesterday from Asma Khan that you're nothing without your team, and that certainly was the case for me. So the journal members seen here, and Gillian Shasby, you can see off to the left, Director of Publications, who's been tremendous at managing the personnel in the office, but also leading our many innovative programs for the journal. Well, as I cross this finish line, I do so with a tremendous sense of joy, satisfaction, and I would say accomplishment. Those of you who want to see more about what we did with the journal these past dozen years, I refer you to my editorial that was just recently published in the journal. What will I miss? Oh, just 1 second, sorry. What will I miss? I will miss the journal, no question, but what I look forward to is my opportunity to gain some time to do things with my wife, Mari, who's here. But you can see in the left-hand corner that we are wearing our Journal of Neurosurgery caps. So the Journal of Neurosurgery will never be far from our minds. So I want to take this opportunity in closing to thank the members of the editorial board, the journal, but also the board of directors of the American Association of Neurological Surgeons for giving me this opportunity of a lifetime. And with that, I thank you for your attention. Thanks very much.